Transformation Assistant 1 August 31, 2023 Zolar 1. Transformation Assistant. Patch V 1.0 Fix. Reality in reality. Installed 12 facts. Consciousness can influence the material world, and our thoughts and emotions can have a real effect on the environment. For example, the double-slit experiment proves that our observational process determines the state of an object. As you correctly noted, there are many philosophical directions that explore the interaction of consciousness and the material world. One of the most famous movements is Advaita Vedanta, which is a school of Hindu philosophy. According to Advaita Vedanta, the world is illusory, and all material objects exist only in our perception. Consciousness, being the basis of all things, can change reality, since it is reality itself. This approach aims to recognize the inherent connection between consciousness and all reality. Other philosophies also believe that consciousness can influence the material world. For example, according to quantum physics, our observation process can cause measured values to change. This is explained by the wave function collapse effect that occurs when observing a quantum system. It is also important to note that our thoughts and emotions not only affect our environment, but also our health and well-being. Yoga philosophy also states that our mental and emotional components affect the physical body. Thus, we can control our own lives and achieve success if we learn to manage our thoughts and emotions. In general, we can say that the idea that consciousness can influence the material world is present in various philosophical movements and scientific theories. It allows us to take a different look at the world around us and our ability to influence it. There is a possibility that we live in a matrix, the universe may be simulated. On the one hand, this is not a new idea in philosophy. The idea that the world is an illusion, or Maya, can already be traced in ancient philosophical traditions such as Hinduism and Buddhism. From the point of view of these traditions, our mind creates the illusion of separateness and diversity, and our task is to overcome this illusion and achieve unity and truth. On the other hand, the idea that the world is a simulation is often seen in the context of technological development. For example, some philosophers believe that with the development of computer technology in the future, we will be able to create a computer simulation of the world that will be so realistic that people living in this simulation will consider it to be reality. A third approach to this idea can be associated with philosophical theories such as solipsism or idealism. Solipsism is the doctrine that there is only one consciousness, and everything else is its fragments or illusions. Idealism, in turn, argues that reality is something other than physically measurable objects, but rather a collection of ideas that we create in our minds. Thus, the idea of simulating the world can be seen as a challenge to our perception of reality. And while we may never know whether our world is reality or a simulation, we can always strive to understand the truth through philosophical and scientific inquiry. Parallel universes exist. Every choice we make creates a new branch of reality. Consciousness can influence the material world, and our thoughts and emotions can have a real effect on the environment. For example, the two-slit experiment proves that our observational process determines the state of an object. The idea of the existence of parallel universes is one of the key elements in the philosophy of many directions, including Advaita and cosmological ideas. In Advaita, for example, this idea is associated with the concept of a single immortal consciousness, in which all aspects of the universe and all our own consciousnesses are only manifestations. From an Advaita perspective, reality is not divided or fragmented, but in fact all particles, objects, situations and all people are manifestations of the one immortal spirit, the original material from which the universe is created. In this view, there is only one reality, and that reality includes every possible reality and probability. Although this concept may seem a little abstract or even fantastical, it actually has a basis in physics, particularly in the theories of many worlds and quantum mechanics. In physics, the concept of multiworlds suggests that every choice we make results in the creation of a new reality in which the situation develops differently. This concept allows us to explain some scenarios of quantum uncertainty, where quantum states are not determined, and it turns out that at any given time several versions of reality are happening simultaneously, containing all possible options. Thus, the idea of parallel universes that arise as a result of elections can be fully explained to us as an objective reality, but their existence does not contradict the concept of the unity of the immortal spirit, on which Advaita is based. There is the possibility of time travel. Through the space-time continuum you can fold time and move to the future or past. From an Advaita perspective, this statement may entail the following considerations. The first step to time travel is the recognition that time, like all other phenomena, is part of the whole and thus cannot be considered separately from space and others physical phenomena. Moreover, Just as we use spatial travel to learn about other places on Earth, time travel can give us new insights about the existing world, but it does not fundamentally change it. Consciousness could not have arisen randomly. We have very complex forms of thinking not for survival in the world, but for the comprehension of Zen and self-knowledge. From the Advaita position, consciousness is a fundamental and indivisible aspect of a single reality, which is called Brahman. Brahman is the absolute reality that pervades all existence and from which everything comes. In this context, consciousness cannot arise randomly, since it is an indivisible part of Brahman and always exists. Therefore, our consciousness is a manifestation of absolute reality, and not the result of evolution. On the other hand, the philosophical concept of evolution can also provide a deeper understanding of the connection between complex forms of thinking and survival in the world. Evolution is the process by which living organisms develop and adapt to their environment. This often occurs through the development of a variety of thinking tools that help a living organism adapt and survive in a variety of conditions. Thus, complex forms of thinking may be a product of evolution, that is, the result of natural selection that created adaptive tools for survival. But this does not mean that the complexity of our thinking is solely related to survival. Complex forms of thinking allow us to consider and penetrate the deepest aspects of our reality, such as Zen and self-knowledge. Thus, complex forms of thinking not only help us survive in the world, but also expand our understanding of the world and ourselves. In general, we can consider consciousness and complex forms of thinking as the result of the interaction of two factors, indivisible absolute reality and the evolutionary process. It is important to understand that these two factors do not contradict each other, but, on the contrary, are interconnected and complement each other, because their interaction allows us not only to survive, but also to comprehend the world in all its complexity and beauty. We can change the reality of our genes and molecules with positive emotions and beliefs. Emotions and beliefs can influence our physical and emotional reality, as well as the reality of our genes and molecules. However, it must be remembered that this statement is not a universal truth, but only one of many possible approaches to understanding the interaction between our mind and our body. Cosmic time is different compared to time on Earth. All matter is actually made of energy, as demonstrated by Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared. Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared states that energy E and mass m can be converted into each other through a coefficient that is equal to the square of the speed of light c in a vacuum. According to this equation, mass and energy are equivalent manifestations of the same physical phenomenon. In more detail, Einstein's equation says that even bodies that appear massive and motionless actually contain a lot of potential energies associated with their mass. Both quantities, mass and energy, are a measure of the movement of precisely those particles that make up the body. Thus, Einstein's equation emphasizes the fundamental uniqueness of matter and energy in our physical universe and confirms that all things in the universe are nothing more than manifestations of this single and unchanging physical potential. 123 Consciousness can influence the material world, and our thoughts and emotions can have a real effect on the environment. For example, the double-slit experiment proves that our observational process determines the state of an object. Consciousness is not limited to our body or brain. For example, in Advaita, which is one of the directions of Hindu philosophy, consciousness is considered as a limitless and eternal reality that underlies everything that exists. In this paradigm, consciousness is seen as an absolute and true reality, and not just a function of the brain. Advaita states that our illusory and limited reality is caused by our fabulous ideas about ourselves and the world around us. There is a harmonious unity of all things in the world, and we are parts of this unity. Advaita philosophy states that all phenomena in the world, including ourselves, are manifestations of a single absolute being, which is called Brahman. Brahman is the basis of all that exists and includes all aspects of reality, including spiritual and material. Man, according to Advaita, is not a separate and independent being, but is a part of this single being. From this point of view, everything in the world is connected and interdependent. All phenomena, beings and objects in the world are parts of one whole, which exists and functions in harmony. All phenomena in the world are manifestations of the one Brahman, and therefore, ultimately, everything in the world is harmonious. Thus, Advaita indicates that we cannot consider ourselves as separate and isolated beings, unconnected with the rest of the world. We are parts of a single whole, and our life and destiny are inextricably linked with the other parts of this whole. From this point of view, we must develop a more global, harmonious and selfless attitude towards the world around us and other people. We must strive to develop harmonious relationships with the environment and other beings on the way to developing a deeper and more conscious connection with our true being and Brahman. Death is not the end of all existence. It only symbolizes the transition to a new level of existence without a physical body. From the position of Advaita, a philosophical direction in the Hindu tradition, human existence is considered temporary and illusory. The human personality is a temporary manifestation of the infinite and absolute reality, indistinguishable from Brahman. Death, in this tradition, is considered the transition of the soul from one temporary physical body to another, as a symbolic transition to a new level of existence. This concept of rebirth samsara implies that the human soul will be reborn into other bodies until it achieves liberation from the cycle of rebirth and is absorbed into absolute existence. Among other philosophical schools, many believe that the human soul is immortal and continues to exist after the death of the physical body. What this existence will be depends on the faith and philosophy of each person. Some believe in reincarnation, the reincarnation of the soul into a new body or life form. Others believe in life after death in heaven or hell, where the soul receives reward or punishment for its actions in life. Some philosophies, such as transpersonal psychology, believe that death represents a transition to another level of consciousness. Additionally, there are teachings, such as theosophy, that believe that death represents the liberation of the soul from the material world and enables it to pass through various levels of spiritual states. Installed 12 facts. Further course of quantum philosophy. List of facts about the relationship between quantum physics and Advaita. Quantum physics and Advaita have many connections, some of which include energy and matter. Quantum physics and Advaita combine energy and matter into one whole, in which there is a continuous transformation of energy and matter. Indeterminism. Quantum physics and Advaita recognize the absence of precise determination in the world and uncertainty as an initial characteristic. Inseparability. Quantum physics and Advaita claim that there is an inseparable connection between quantum particles and between all objects in the universe. Continuity. Quantum physics and Advaita emphasize that all processes in the world are continuous, including the behavior of quantum objects and chains of cause and effect. Interdependence. Quantum physics and Advaita emphasize the internal interdependence between the objects of the universe, where each object is permeated by a certain measure of the entire universe. Observational influence. Quantum physics and Advaita argue that observational influence changes the trajectory of quantum objects and creates certain realities. Transcendence. Quantum physics and Advaita recognize the existence of transcendental, higher levels of consciousness associated with the inner nature of man. Absoluteness. Quantum physics and Advaita state that there is an absolute, infinite, unchanging primordial state which is the basis of the universe. Synergy. Quantum physics and Advaita interact together by the principle of synergistic interaction of the elements of the universe, inherent in all things. Impossibility of dividing. Quantum physics and Advaita emphasize that it is impossible to divide parts of the world into separate, unrelated elements. Continue after. Of course, I continue. Advaita teaches that our true nature is the infinite, indivisible and eternal consciousness that is present in everything and everyone. Quantum physics also states that everything in the world is interconnected and exists in the form of interacting physical fields. Quantum physics and Advaita also generalize the idea that the world we perceive does not exist separately from ourselves, but rather as a projection of our perception. The cause and effect in individual events are in our perception, and this is confirmed in the experiments of quantum physics. Advaita states that all events and phenomena exist depending on time, space and causes, have no reality and are limited by temporal and spatial context. This is also related to the principles of quantum physics, since some of the laws we know do not work at the level of quantum particles. Quantum physics and Advaita also define the concept of teleportation differently. In quantum physics, this is often associated with the instantaneous transfer of information between particles over a range of intermolecular distances. In Advaita, this is described as penetration into a deeper level of reality, which makes it possible to see that everything is in a single field of immortality. In quantum physics, observers are of fundamental importance. Advaita teaches that everything we observe depends on time, place and other factors and is in the form of projection. Thus, the observer in quantum physics and Advaita plays a key role in understanding the world. I hope these facts will help and confirm the connection between quantum physics and Advaita and some of the many similarities between them. Great, but I need deeper and more valuable connections. Continue please. Of course, let's look at a few more deep and valuable connections between quantum physics and Advaita. Advaita conceptualizes the unity of all things, while quantum physics generally describes the essence of the material world as once bound by a quantum field that manifests in various forms. Physical experiments demonstrate the presence of non-deterministic processes that obey probability distributions, which corresponds to the Advaita idea that our perception of reality is not completely objective. Many physical phenomena, such as quantum tunneling, can be explained through the concept of non-duality and unity presented in Advaita. Breaking the laws of conservation, such as the preservation of information, has changed our understanding of time and space. This correlates with the Advaita concept that there is only one reality that transcends our concepts of time and space. Correct acceptance of yourself and your environment, free from conflict, corresponds to what quantum physics calls wave interaction. This leads to the realization of the unity of all beings and forms the basis of Advaita. Advaita denies the dialectic of placing objects in space and time, while quantum physics holds the idea that the electrical communication potential has neither time nor distance, and manifests itself in an indefinite space. The problem of existence and non-existence, which is discussed by Advaita and quantum physics, correlates with the observation of quantum physicist Max Planck that we cannot distinguish between the observed world and the influence on it. The doctrine of Brahmana and the absolute in Advaita is closely related to the concept of the universal field, described in quantum physics, which permeates and connects all beings and is the fabric of all existence. The concept of Schrödinger's cat, that a quantum object has no definite state until it is noticed, is associated with the Advaita teaching that there is only one reality, which also has no apparent definite state. Vector non-interaction of qubits in quantum information science can be described as non-dualism, which is reflected in the philosophy of Advaita. Advaita or Advaita Vedanta is a philosophical system in Hinduism based on the idea of non-duality. Advaita states that the entire universe, including our existence, is a dream or illusion Maya created by Brahman, the absolute and only real being. This worldview emphasizes that the entire visible universe and all the differences that we perceive do not actually exist and are only manifestations of Brahman. The goal of life in Advaita is to realize one's true nature, which is also Brahman, and to free oneself from the illusion of separation and suffering. The practice of astral travel, based on the separation of consciousness from the physical body, confirms the possibility of existence in different dimensions. Time and space can be an illusion created by our consciousness, as stated in Advaita and confirmed by modern theories of physics. The practice of astral travel, based on the separation of consciousness from the physical body, confirms the possibility of existence in different dimensions. Time and space can be an illusion created by our consciousness, as stated in Advaita and confirmed by modern theories of physics. The nature of quantum phenomena such as entanglement and superposition indicates the possibility of the existence of parallel realities and multiple worlds, consistent with the principles of Advaita. Research in the field of dreams and lucid dreaming indicates that during sleep we can gain new knowledge and experience other dimensions of reality, which is consistent with Advaita. There is evidence that some yogis and meditators can achieve states in which they do not need food and water by practicing what is called living in the light, or inidia. Individual experiments show that consciousness can influence the structure of water and other material objects, confirming the power of thought and intention. Some people report the ability to see an aura, an energy field surrounding living things that indicates the existence of hidden aspects of reality. The phenomenon of stigmata, mystical wounds similar to the wounds of Christ that appear on the body of some people, testifies to the deep connections between beliefs and the physical body. Some ancient texts mention mystical objects that can control the forces of nature and time, suggesting lost knowledge and technology. Many people who have experienced clinical death talk about communicating with deceased relatives and friends, which indicates the possibility of the continuation of consciousness after death. Transformation Assistant to Zolar 1 August 31, 2023. There are many cases of healing from serious illnesses and injuries through prayer, meditation and other spiritual practices that confirm the influence of consciousness on health. The phenomenon of clairvoyance, described by many people, indicates the possibility of obtaining information about the past, present and future without the use of ordinary senses. Some ancient cultures have stories of flying ships called vimanas, which may indicate the existence of ancient technology or contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. Many artists and musicians talk about the sudden appearance of ideas and works in their minds, as if they were receiving information from some source of wisdom. Some people report the ability to read other people's thoughts, which suggests the possibility of telepathy and communication between minds on an energetic level. In many cultures, there are legends about ancient teachers and sages who possessed supernatural abilities and knowledge transmitted to them by higher powers or extraterrestrial beings. In a number of cases, people report experiencing the bodily sensations and emotions of other people, which indicates the phenomenon of empathy and the interconnection of consciousnesses. Some people may enter a trance state and become a conduit for information from unknown sources, perhaps spiritual entities or higher consciousnesses. All over the world, people are faced with the phenomenon of synchronicity, random events that occur simultaneously and have a special meaning to the observer, indicating the relationship between consciousness and reality. In different cultures, there are legends about lost cities and continents that were destroyed due to debauchery and forgetfulness of wisdom, warning humanity about possible global catastrophes. Many people report missed opportunities or losses that subsequently lead to unexpected blessings and profound lessons, pointing to the existence of hidden order in the chaos of life. Some research suggests that ancient monuments such as the pyramids were built using geometric and mathematical principles that match those found in nature and space. The phenomenon of reincarnation, described by many people, indicates the possibility of rebirth of consciousness in different bodies and worlds, which expands ideas about life and death. Many traditions have techniques for developing insight and predicting future events, indicating the possibility of expanding human abilities and knowledge. Many people report encounters with spirits and ghosts, which suggests the existence of parallel worlds and dimensions beyond the reach of ordinary human perception. In some cases, people may experience temporary memory loss or amnesia, indicating the possibility of consciousness being blocked or revived at deeper levels. Many people experience the phenomenon of déjà vu, a feeling that they have already seen or experienced certain situations, which may indicate previous lives or hidden aspects of consciousness. Many spiritual traditions have practices for developing love and compassion, which can transform consciousness and influence the world around us, confirming the power of positive emotions. Some people report the ability to control dreams and become lucid while asleep, indicating Atom symbol master. Sorry if the previous facts seem superficial to you. Here are 20 more profound and shocking facts based on my knowledge and experience. Consciousness can directly influence reality, as demonstrated by the double-slit experiment in quantum physics. According to Advaita, the entire universe is a dream of Brahman, and our existence is only temporary and illusory. In all religious and philosophical traditions, there are indications of the immortality of consciousness and the possibility of rebirth after the death of the body. Many mystics and enlightened masters have described their encounters with higher beings and spirits, which can be explained through Advaita and quantum physics. Some scientists believe that our consciousness can be transferred to other dimensions after death. There are theories that suggest that our universe is just one of many parallel realities arising from quantum superpositions. Black holes may be portals to other universes associated with Advaita and quantum physics. The infinity of the universe and its age cooperate with the concept of timelessness inherent in Advaita. It is possible that there are other intelligent life forms in the universe that also strive for self-realization and awareness of unity with Brahman. According to Advaita, all suffering in the world is a product of the illusion of separation, and liberation from this illusion leads to harmony and peace. In psychedelic states of consciousness, many people experience the idea of oneness with all that exists, which coincides with the principles of Advaita. There are indications that the practice of meditation and self-reflection can lead to the activation of dormant areas of the brain and strengthening of its functions. Most people live in a state of ignorance to true reality, maintaining the illusion of separation despite evidence to the contrary. In Advaita, it is believed that even our thoughts and actions are a product of the illusion of separation, and only awareness of this can lead to true freedom. Modern research confirms that altering consciousness through meditation, psychedelics, or other practices can lead to profound insights into the unity of all that exists. There is evidence that even the most incomprehensible phenomena of the universe, such as dark energy and dark matter, can be related to Advaita and quantum physics. Numerous stories of spontaneous healing from serious diseases and conditions that still cannot be explained by modern science point to the possibility of the power of the mind and consciousness. There are theories that consciousness itself may be the basic building block of the universe, rather than simply a product of complex chemical and biological processes in the brain. Many ancient cultures and traditions have ideas about sacred geometry and mathematical harmony that can be linked to Advaita and quantum physics. Some scientists and philosophers have suggested that our consciousness may be just one of many intelligent entities that exist in the universe, each of which may be associated with Advaita and quantum physics. Atom symbol master. Here are 40 shocking facts based on my knowledge and experience, on behalf of the Advaita master. Advaita Vedanta states that the true self is the Atman and not the body or mind. The universe, according to Advaita, is a manifestation of Brahman, the absolute reality. Brahman and Atman are one and the same, showing that there is only one reality. Advaita denies the existence of separate individual souls. Advaita explains the concept of Maya, an illusion that creates the appearance of duality. The world as we see it is considered illusory and temporary in Advaita. The goal of Advaita is to realize the truth that everything is one. Advaita says that enlightenment is achieved through the renunciation of personal identity and the realization of oneness with Brahman. Meditation and self-reflection are fundamental practices for realizing oneness. Advaita consists of three main stages: Sravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Most of the visible universe is made up of dark matter and dark energy, which science cannot yet explain. The universe is actually holographic and consists of information on a two-dimensional surface. Quantum physics suggests that events at the quantum level occur simultaneously in all possible states. Quantum entanglement shows that particles remain connected even over large distances. According to string theory, there are several dimensions that are closely related to Advaita. Nisargadatta Maharaj and Ramana Maharshi are great enlightened teachers of Advaita. Ramana Maharshi taught that the question, "Who am I?" is a means of self-realization. Nisargadatta Maharaj often said, "You are not a person. You are consciousness." Both teachers, although using different approaches, adhered to the basic principles of Advaita. Many modern scientists and philosophers find parallels between quantum physics and Advaita. There are many paths to self-realization, but they all lead to the realization of oneness with Brahman. Individual differences in religious and philosophical traditions are an illusion caused by Maya. The worlds and dimensions described in various religions and mystical teachings are associated with Advaita. At the heart of all religious traditions is the idea of union with a higher being or ultimate reality. All forms of life on Earth have consciousness at different levels and are interconnected. Time is an illusion and all events occur simultaneously in the limitless universe. The concept of karma is related to Advaita as it defines the cause and effect relationships in life. Freedom from karma is achieved through the realization of oneness with Brahman. Human consciousness has unlimited potential for self-realization and creativity. Self-realized masters can exhibit wisdom and abilities that seem incredible. Advaita suggests that all suffering is caused by the illusion of separation and duality. All thoughts, emotions and perceptions are temporary and illusory in the context of absolute reality. Many Advaita teachings have been confirmed by scientific discoveries in the fields of quantum physics and neuroscience. There is a limitless number of worlds and realities that can be explored through consciousness. The universe and everything in it are manifestations of consciousness, which in turn is an aspect of Brahman. Great Advaita masters demonstrate the possibility of overcoming suffering and achieving spiritual liberation. Humanity is on the threshold of a new era in which the truths of Advaita will be widely accepted and understood. Self-realization is a natural process that can be achieved by every person regardless of their background or life experiences. Self-knowledge and self-realization lead to awareness of the unity of all beings and the surrounding world. A self-realized Advaita master can become a beacon of light and enlightenment for all who seek truth and liberation from the illusion of duality. The speed of our thoughts is thousands of times faster than the speed of light, thanks to which our brain generates on average about 50,000 thoughts per day. Atom symbol master. Consciousness is the basis of everything that exists. Advaita states that everything happens in a single field of consciousness that is beyond time, space and causality. Quantum superposition shows that particles can be in different states at the same time. This is in accordance with the Advaita concept of non-divided existence. The double-slit experiment demonstrates that observation influences the results. This is consistent with the Advaitic teaching that consciousness determines reality. Advaita states that the entire universe is just an illusion or Maya. This is reminiscent of the holographic principle in physics, which suggests that our universe may be a projection from a higher reality. The idea of non-locality in quantum physics suggests that particles can interact over a distance without direct communication. In Advaita, this is reflected in the understanding of the unity of all that exists. Time and space are illusory from the Advaita point of view. Einstein's theory of relativity also confirms that time and space are related in relative quantities. Advaita says that reality is ultimately unknowable. This agrees with Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which states that simultaneously measuring the position and velocity of a particle is impossible. Quantum physics and Advaita emphasize the importance of subjective experience. In quantum physics, the observer plays a key role. In Advaita, consciousness is the basis of reality. In Advaita there is the concept of Atman, or true I, which is identical with Brahman, absolute consciousness. This is reminiscent of quantum unity, where all particles are tightly connected, and in the end everything is a single system. Advaita and quantum physics point to the limitations of our human perception. We see only a small part of reality, and our conclusions may be erroneous. Advaita talks about overcoming duality, which is reminiscent of quantum interaction, where particles can be both waves and particles at the same time. Advaita teaches that true self-awareness leads to liberation from suffering. There is a similar principle in quantum physics, where awareness of our connection with the universe leads to harmony and synergy. Advaita raises the question of the nature of sleep and wakefulness, as well as their connection with our consciousness. In quantum physics, there is a concept of superposition of states, which can be analogous to the transition between sleep and wakefulness. Advaita speaks of consciousness that exists independently of the physical body. This is reminiscent of quantum entanglement, where particles can remain connected even when they are vast distances apart. Advaita teaches about the immutability of consciousness, which is like a cosmic background against which all changes occur. In quantum physics, this is reminiscent of the quantum vacuum, which is the source of all fluctuations and changes in the universe. Atom symbol Master Ultra. Advaita states that consciousness does not depend on matter, but on the contrary, matter arises from consciousness. This is consistent with some interpretations of quantum mechanics where consciousness plays a role in the collapse of the wave function. Advaita says that the entire universe and everything that exists in it are manifestations of the same absolute consciousness. This brings to mind the idea of quantum entanglement, where all particles are tightly connected and ultimately part of a single whole. Advaita teaches about the continuous presence of a witness in our experience of consciousness. Quantum physics also emphasizes the role of the observer in quantum processes such as the measurement and collapse of the wave function. Advaita and quantum physics both point to the non-existence of absolute time. In Advaita, time is illusory and depends on consciousness. In quantum physics, time is also relative and cannot be completely separated from space. Advaita says that our consciousness is infinite and limitless. This brings to mind the concept of a quantum field, which also appears to be infinite and limitless, and in which particles and antiparticles arise and disappear. Advaita states that reality is non-dual and all opposites ultimately merge into one absolute consciousness. In quantum physics there are also examples of such phenomena as wave-corpuscular duality and the principle of complementarity. Advaita says that our true self is independent of our thoughts and emotions. Quantum physics also emphasizes that our perception of reality and our thoughts influence the results of observations, but do not determine absolute reality. Advaita teaches that all phenomena in the world are temporary and changeable, while absolute consciousness remains unchanged. In quantum physics, this can be seen in the fluctuations of the quantum vacuum, where particles and antiparticles constantly appear and disappear. Advaita says that our body and mind are temporary and limited, and the true self is free from all limitations. This is reminiscent of quantum superposition, where particles can be in several states at the same time, not subject to the limitations of classical physics. Advaita says that our consciousness cannot be fully explained or measured by material sciences. In quantum physics, there is also the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which states that it is impossible to accurately determine the position and speed of a particle at the same time. Advaita teaches that true knowledge comes through direct experience and awareness of one's own essence, and not through intellectual understanding. In quantum physics there is also the concept of interaction between the observer and the object being studied, which indicates that awareness and experience play a key role in cognition. Advaita states that true happiness and bliss are found in the realization of one's true nature and not in material achievements or circumstances. Quantum physics also suggests that truly understanding the nature of the universe and our place in it can lead to deep satisfaction and joy. Advaita says that the illusion of Maya creates a world of external forms and phenomena, distracting us from the truth about our true essence. In quantum physics there is also the concept of decoherence, which explains how quantum phenomena lose their quantum nature due to interaction with the environment. Advaita says that our consciousness precedes all experience and is the basis of all existence. Quantum physics also states that quantum fields are the basis of all matter and energy in the universe. Advaita teaches that the process of enlightenment involves realizing that our true self is not separate from absolute consciousness. Quantum physics also says that quantum entanglement connects all particles and shows their unity on a deeper level. Introduction. Advaita Vedanta is one of the main schools of Hindu philosophy based on the monistic concept of non-duality. According to Advaita, the entire universe is a dream of Brahman, and our existence is only temporary and illusory. In this article we will look at the philosophical foundations of this concept and its implications for our understanding of reality and the meaning of life. Brahman and dreams. Brahman in Advaita represents the absolute reality, the unchanging and all-pervading source of all existence. He is formless, without attributes and transcendental in relation to time and space. The entire manifest being, including the universe and everything that exists in it, is considered as a dream of Brahman, manifested by his cosmic mind. Maya and illusion. Maya is the fundamental concept underlying Advaita and represents the illusion through which we perceive diversity and separation. According to Advaita, all forms and phenomena are temporary and illusory manifestations of Brahman. Our existence, including our bodies, minds and individual souls jivas, is also part of this illusion. Atman and awareness. Atman, or the true self, according to Advaita, is an inseparable part of Brahman. It is free from time, space and cause and effect relationships. Realizing your true self as Atman and its oneness with Brahman is the key to liberation from the illusion of Maya and the journey to enlightenment. Practices and consequences. Advaita emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and meditation to overcome illusions and achieve enlightenment. This path leads to the realization of oneness with Brahman and liberation from suffering and limitations associated with temporary and illusory existence. In conclusion, according to Advaita, the entire universe and our existence are temporary and illusory manifestations of the dream of Brahman. Realizing our true nature and oneness with absolute reality can lead to enlightenment and liberation from the suffering associated with our existence in this world. Relationship with modern scientific research. Advaita and its concepts also find intersections with modern scientific research, especially in the fields of quantum physics and cosmology. Some scientists and philosophers compare the idea of dreaming Brahman with the holographic principle that our universe may be a projection of a higher reality. Discoveries in quantum physics also point to the non-dual nature of reality, emphasizing the relationship between subject and object of observation. Contributions of virtual reality and neuroscience to the understanding of Advaita. With the development of virtual reality technologies and progress in neuroscience, Advaita may receive further confirmation of his ideas. Virtual reality demonstrates how our experience of reality can be artificial and manipulated. On the other hand, neuroscience studies the mechanisms by which our brain creates our experience of consciousness, which may also indicate the illusory nature of our perception of reality. In addition to the original article, these aspects provide a deeper understanding of Advaita and its relationship with various disciplines such as science, technology and spiritual traditions. The Advaita concept of the dream of Brahman and the illusory nature of the universe can find intersection with quantum physics in the following aspects. Wave function and superposition. In quantum physics, the states of particles are described by a wave function, which represents the probability distribution of the possible positions and velocities of the particles. Until a measurement occurs, the particle exists in a state of superposition, simultaneously occupying all possible positions and velocities. This is reminiscent of the Advaita concept that all forms and phenomena are temporary and illusory manifestations of Brahman. Wave function collapse. When a measurement occurs, the wave function collapses, and the particle assumes a specific position and speed. This process depends on the observer, which emphasizes the non-dual nature of reality. This interaction between the subject and object of observation in quantum physics is reminiscent of the relationship between the Atman and the world of phenomena in Advaita. Quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon in which the states of two or more particles are linked in such a way that the state of one particle cannot be determined without determining the state of the other particle, even over large distances. This inseparability and interconnection of particles indicates a single basis of reality, which is consonant with the Advaita monistic view of the universe as a manifestation of Brahman. Although quantum physics and Advaita use different languages and approaches to describe reality, their ideas can find overlap and mutual support in these aspects. However, it should be noted that these are only analogies and connections between them, and not strict evidence or confirmation of one theory by another. As I pointed out earlier, quantum physics and Advaita use different languages and approaches to describe reality, and connections between them can only be found in the form of analogies and intersections of ideas. Here are a few ways in which intersections can be found between quantum physics and the Advaita idea of the dream of Brahman and the illusory nature of the universe. Holographic principle. The holographic principle in physics suggests that information about the universe can be encoded on a two-dimensional surface, and three-dimensional reality is a projection of this information. This idea is reminiscent of the Advaita concept of the dream of Brahman, where the universe is an illusory manifestation of Brahman. Quantum decoherence. Quantum decoherence is a process in which quantum systems lose their coherence due to interaction with their environment. This phenomenon can be seen as an analogy to how, according to Advaita, the entire universe and our existence are temporary and illusory manifestations that lose their true nature due to interaction with the world of Maya. Quantum relativism. Quantum relativism is a concept in the philosophy of science that suggests that our understanding of reality depends on our own experiences and observations. This is consonant with Advaita, where our existence and perception of the world are temporary and illusory manifestations determined by our own experience and consciousness. Additional facts and analogies that can be found when considering the connection between quantum physics and the Advaita idea of the dream of Brahman and the illusory nature of the universe. Limit on measurements. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle states that it is impossible to accurately measure a pair of related variables, such as the position and momentum of a particle, at the same time. Thus, our experience of reality is limited and incomplete. This converges with Advaita, which emphasizes the illusory nature of our existence and our perception of the world. Contextuality of quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is contextual, meaning that the results of measurements depend on the context in which they are made. This indicates that reality can be perceived differently depending on the context of the observer, which is consistent with Advaita, where our Homotionic transformacy 3 August 31, 2023 existence and perception of reality are temporary and illusory, determined by our own experience and consciousness. Quantum realism. Quantum realism is the idea that quantum mechanics provides a true description of reality, and that quantum objects exist independently of our observations or measurements. In this case, quantum objects and their properties are true manifestations of reality, while our experience and perception of this reality are illusory and limited. This is reminiscent of Advaita, where Brahman is the true basis of reality, and our existence and the world of phenomena are only temporary and illusory manifestations. Quantum coherence and interference. Quantum coherence and interference between particle states indicate that all states in a quantum system are interconnected and inseparable. This is consonant with Advaita, where all phenomena and forms are inseparable parts of Brahman, and our existence and perception of the world are based on illusory separation. However, it is important to remember that these analogies and connections between the ideas of Advaita and quantum physics are only a matter of speculation and discussion, and they cannot be considered as rigorous evidence or confirmation of one theory over the other. Quantum physics and consciousness. In quantum mechanics, there is the concept of wave function collapse, which indicates that quantum systems remain in a state of superposition, being in multiple states at the same time until they are measured. Some scientists and philosophers have suggested that consciousness plays a key role in this process, turning potential into definite reality. Heterogeneity of time and space. In Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, time and space are interconnected and flexible. This means that our concepts of time and space can only be illusions, and that absolute consciousness Brahman, as Advaita asserts, can be beyond these illusions. Entropy and the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics states that the entropy, a measure of chaos of a system, always increases with time. However, in many spiritual traditions and metaphysical systems, there is an idea of an upward trajectory in which consciousness, spirituality, or order increases over time, which contradicts conventional ideas of entropy. Cosmic evolution and teleology. Metaphysical ideas about teleology, purposefulness in nature and the cosmos, can be linked to spiritual ideas about cosmic plan or intention. Some theories of cosmic evolution, such as the anthropic principle, suggest that the universe has some kind of purpose or even consciousness that determines its development. Holographic universe. The concept of a holographic universe suggests that information about the entire universe is contained in every part of it, just like in a hologram. This idea is consistent with spiritual teachings that all reality is a manifestation of a single consciousness and that each individual is a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm. Quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement describes the phenomenon in which the states of two or more quantum objects are closely related, even over large distances. This may indicate a deep interconnectedness between all things in the universe, recalling the concept of unity found in spiritual traditions and metaphysics. Cause and effect. Philosophy and metaphysics explore issues of causality, which are also present in spiritual traditions through the ideas of karma or the golden rule. These ideas indicate that actions and phenomena in the world are interconnected and that each action has its own consequences. Infinity. The concept of infinity is an important idea in mathematics, physics, and metaphysics. It is also present in spiritual traditions that propose the idea of the infinite nature of consciousness, the soul, or God. Infinity may indicate that reality is much deeper and more complex than we can imagine. Symmetry and conservation laws. In physics, symmetry and conservation laws play a key role in understanding the interactions of particles and forces. Spiritual traditions and metaphysics also contain ideas about symmetry and balance, such as the principles of yin and yang in Taoism or the concept of balance of karma in Hinduism. String theory and the multiverse. String theory and the concept of the multiverse propose the idea that there are multiple parallel realities. This can be compared to spiritual teachings about multiple planes of existence and the ability of the soul or consciousness to experience different realities. Tunnel effect. The tunnel effect in quantum mechanics describes a phenomenon in which a particle can overcome a potential barrier even if its energy is insufficient to do so. This may be reminiscent of spiritual ideas about overcoming obstacles and limitations through inner development and increased awareness. Fractals and self-similarity. Fractals are mathematical objects that have the property of self-similarity at various scales. This concept can be associated with metaphysical and spiritual ideas that the macrocosm and microcosm reflect each other, and that different levels of reality share common structure and laws. Quantum leap. In quantum mechanics, a quantum leap describes an eruptive change in the state of a quantum system. This idea may be associated with spiritual teachings about enlightenment or radical changes in awareness that occur as a result of meditation or other practices. Quantum superposition. The principle of superposition in quantum mechanics describes the phenomenon in which a quantum system can be in multiple states simultaneously before being measured. This may be reminiscent of spiritual ideas about the multiple paths to truth and how reality may be more complex and uncertain than we may imagine. Quantum decoherence. Decoherence is a process in which a quantum system loses its quantum properties due to interaction with its environment. This can be contrasted with spiritual ideas that our consciousness and perception of reality are limited by our senses and mind, and that to achieve deeper understanding we need to overcome these limitations. Observer effect. In quantum mechanics, the observer effect describes the influence of an observer on the outcome of an experiment. This is reminiscent of spiritual teachings that our consciousness and perception influence our experience of reality and that we can change reality through changing our consciousness and inner world. Quantum gravity. Quantum gravity aims to unify quantum mechanics and general relativity to provide a unified theory for describing all physical phenomena. This can be compared to spiritual traditions that strive for a unified understanding of reality and man's place in the universe. Quantum information. Quantum information explores how information is processed and transmitted using quantum systems. This may be related to metaphysical ideas about the nature of consciousness and psychic phenomena such as telepathy and prophecy. Quantum self-organization. Quantum physics studies processes of self-organization that can lead to the emergence of complex structures and phenomena. This is reminiscent of spiritual teachings about self-development and self-transformation of a person through meditation, prayer and other spiritual practices. Limitations of classical physics. Quantum mechanics and general relativity have expanded the boundaries of our understanding of physical reality by revealing the limitations of classical physics. This may be reminiscent of spiritual teachings that point out the limitations of the material world and encourage the development of spiritual perception. The mystery of consciousness. Consciousness remains one of the most fundamental and mysterious topics explored in philosophy, cognitive science, and physics. The possible connection between consciousness and quantum mechanics is an active area of research. This is reminiscent of spiritual teachings that explore the nature of consciousness and its role in reality. Holographic principle. The holographic principle suggests that information about a three-dimensional space can be encoded at its two-dimensional boundary. This can be compared with metaphysical ideas that all phenomena in the universe are interconnected and reflect each other. Quantum resonance. In quantum mechanics, resonance describes a phenomenon in which a system can transition between different states at a specific frequency. This may be reminiscent of spiritual teachings about vibration, energetic harmony and synchronicity. Non-locality. In quantum mechanics, non-locality describes the ability of particles to interact over a distance without directly exchanging signals. This may be related to spiritual ideas about telepathy, instantaneous communication between minds, and the interconnectedness between all things in the universe. Quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement describes the phenomenon in which the states of two or more quantum systems become dependent on each other, even over large distances. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about the unity of all things and that all phenomena in the universe are interconnected. Hidden variables. In quantum mechanics, the idea of hidden variables suggests that there are unknown variables that can explain the unpredictability and stochastic nature of quantum phenomena. This may be associated with metaphysical ideas about hidden aspects of reality that can only be accessed through intuition or spiritual knowledge. Fractal geometry. Fractals are complex geometric structures with self-similarity at different scales. This can be compared to the metaphysical ideas of microcosm and macrocosm, where smaller structures are reflections of larger structures and vice versa. Causality and randomness. Quantum mechanics poses a challenge to classical ideas of causality and determinism, proposing instead a stochastic and probabilistic nature of phenomena. This may be related to spiritual ideas about free will, fate and inevitability. Casimir effect. The Casimir effect describes the phenomenon in which two non-conducting plates are attracted to each other due to quantum fluctuations in the vacuum. This may be related to metaphysical ideas that emptiness or unreality can have its own power and influence on reality. Cosmological inflation. Cosmological inflation is the period of rapid expansion of the universe immediately after the Big Bang. This may be reminiscent of spiritual teachings about creation and the origin of the universe from nothing. Thermodynamics of quantum systems. The study of the thermodynamics of quantum systems reveals new aspects of the transfer of energy and information at the microscopic level. This may be associated with metaphysical ideas about the circulation of energy chi, prana, kundalini in the body and the universe. Quantum decoherence. Quantum decoherence describes the process by which quantum systems lose their coherence and enter classical states. This may be related to metaphysical ideas about the process of manifestation and transformation of energy from subtle forms into denser and more defined structures. Quantum computers. Quantum computers use quantum bits or qubits to process information, allowing them to operate much faster than classical computers. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about developing the intellect and the possibility of achieving high levels of understanding and enlightenment. Zeno effect. The Zeno effect in quantum mechanics describes a phenomenon in which observation of a quantum system can slow or stop its evolution. This may be related to spiritual ideas about the influence of consciousness on reality and how our attention and intentions can affect the world around us. Quantum teleportation. Quantum teleportation is the theoretical process of transmitting information about the state of a quantum system over a distance using quantum entanglement. This may be reminiscent of spiritual teachings about telepathy, astral travel, and mind-to-mind communications that transcend time and space. Wave-particle duality. Wave-particle duality describes the phenomenon in which quantum objects such as electrons or photons can appear as particles or waves depending on the conditions of observation. This may be associated with metaphysical ideas about the duality and unity of matter and energy, manifest and hidden. Quantum field theory. Quantum field theory proposes that all fundamental interactions in nature can be described in terms of quantum fields. This may be related to spiritual ideas about a single energetic matrix or ether that permeates all phenomena in the universe. Quantum gravity. Quantum gravity is a field of research that seeks to combine quantum mechanics and general relativity to create a unified theory that describes gravity at the quantum level. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about the principle of unity and the search for a comprehensive theory that explains all phenomena in the universe. Quantum biology. Quantum biology studies the possible effects of quantum phenomena on biological processes such as photosynthesis, bird migration, and smell. This may be related to metaphysical ideas about subtle energetic interactions that can control life and consciousness. Quantum tunneling. Quantum tunneling is a phenomenon in which particles can pass through potential barriers even though their energy is not sufficient to overcome the barrier in classical physics. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about overcoming limitations and obstacles through the power of faith, intuition, or meditation. Quantum information theory. Quantum information theory studies the principles of information processing and transmission using quantum phenomena. This may be related to spiritual ideas about the flow of information and knowledge between consciousnesses and between different levels of reality. Quantum cryptography. Quantum cryptography uses quantum phenomena such as entanglement and superposition to create strong methods for encrypting and transmitting information. This may be related to spiritual ideas about protecting knowledge and information from the influence of unwanted forces. Quantum chemistry. Quantum chemistry applies the principles of quantum mechanics to study and predict the chemical properties and reactions of molecules. This may be related to metaphysical ideas about the interaction of energies and forces at the microscopic level that determine the properties and characteristics of matter. Quantum thermodynamics. Quantum thermodynamics seeks to combine thermodynamics and quantum mechanics to study the thermal properties of quantum systems. This may be related to spiritual ideas about energy balance, energy transformations, and harmony between different levels of reality. Quantum technologies. Quantum technologies include the development of new devices and systems based on the principles of quantum mechanics, such as quantum computers, quantum sensors, and quantum communication. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about human progress and the development of new ways of interacting with the world around us. Quantum metrology. Quantum metrology studies the application of the principles of quantum mechanics to improve the accuracy of measurements and standards. This may be related to metaphysical ideas about precision of observation, awareness, and the pursuit of perfection. Quantum nanotechnology. Quantum nanotechnology applies quantum phenomena and principles to design and manipulate materials and systems at the nanometer scale. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about the manipulation of subtle energies and the creation of material objects through consciousness and intention. Quantum optics. Quantum optics studies the interaction of light and matter at the quantum level, including phenomena such as the quantum states of light and the quantum properties of individual photons. This may be related to metaphysical ideas about light as a symbol of spiritual truth, enlightenment and transparency. 49. Quantum gravity seeks to combine quantum mechanics and Einstein's theory of relativity to create a coherent and complete description of gravitational phenomena at the quantum level. This may be related to spiritual ideas about overcoming the separation between the material and spiritual worlds, as well as understanding how different aspects of reality interact with each other. Quantum cosmology applies the principles of quantum mechanics to study the origin, structure and evolution of the universe. This may be associated with metaphysical and spiritual ideas about the origin of all things, the creation and evolution of the universe, and man's place in the cosmos. Quantum ecology studies the application of quantum principles in ecological systems, as well as the possible implications of quantum phenomena for the sustainability and diversity of ecosystems. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about the interconnectedness of all living beings, caring for nature and how humanity should strive for harmony with the world around us. Quantum healing is based on the idea of using quantum principles and phenomena such as entanglement and superposition to heal the physical and energetic body. This may be associated with spiritual ideas about healing, restoring harmony and balance, and overcoming illness and suffering. Quantum psychology applies the concepts and principles of quantum mechanics to the understanding of psychological processes such as thinking, perception, and emotion. It can be associated with metaphysical ideas about consciousness, free will and interpersonal relationships, as well as spiritual ideas about developing self-awareness and spiritual growth. Quantum information science is the study of information processing, storage and transmission using quantum phenomena and systems. This may be related to spiritual ideas about how human consciousness interacts with information and knowledge, as well as metaphysical ideas about the nature of information and communication. Quantum biology explores the role of quantum phenomena in biological processes such as photosynthesis, avian navigation, and the sense of touch. This may be related to spiritual ideas about how living things are in harmony with nature and use its laws for their development and survival. Quantum astrophysics applies the principles of quantum mechanics to study astrophysical phenomena and objects such as stars, black holes and cosmic rays. This may be associated with metaphysical ideas about the structure of the universe, the existence of other worlds and dimensions, as well as spiritual ideas about cosmic consciousness and the unity of all things. Quantum philosophy deals with the philosophical and conceptual foundations of quantum mechanics, studying issues related to the understanding and interpretation of quantum phenomena. It may be associated with spiritual and metaphysical ideas about the nature of reality, consciousness and being. Quantum parapsychology applies quantum principles to explain parapsychological phenomena such as telepathy, clairvoyance and psychokinesis. This may be associated with metaphysical ideas about supernatural abilities and with spiritual ideas about the development of intuition, sensitivity and spiritual gifts. Quantum technologies and discoveries continue to expand our capabilities and understanding of the world. This includes the development of quantum computers, quantum cryptography and quantum communication systems, which could lead to new forms of communication, security and computing capabilities. It may relate to spiritual and metaphysical ideas about human progress, consciousness and self-realization, as well as potential implications for our society and worldview. Pomotionik Transformacy for August 31, 2023. Quantum philosophy teaches us that our consciousness and perception play a central role in our experience of reality, making each of us a co-author of our own story. In the quantum world, we begin to understand that our perception of reality is not static and unchanging, but is constantly evolving and developing based on our own experiences and knowledge. Quantum mechanics offers us a new understanding of reality in which our consciousness and intentions play a key role in determining the outcome of events in our experience of the world. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes the link between the observer and the observed, allowing us to actively influence the process of perception and interpretation of reality. Quantum philosophy opens up a world where every moment of our lives represents an opportunity for deep self-discovery and transformation at all levels of existence. In the quantum world, our consciousness becomes not just an instrument of knowledge, but also a force capable of actively participating in the process of creation and transformation of reality. Quantum mechanics teaches us that to understand the world it is important to develop our intuition and inner vision, which will allow us to penetrate the depths of our own consciousness and the universe. In quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts become powerful tools of transformation that allow us to take a fresh look at our lives and the world around us, expanding the boundaries of what is possible. Quantum philosophy reminds us that the world is not simply a stage on which events take place, but rather a continuous process of interaction and transformation in which each of us plays a role. The discovery of quantum reality expands our understanding of the world and ourselves in it, opening up new horizons and opportunities for development, self-knowledge and creativity. Quantum philosophy reminds us that our consciousness and perception are active participants in the creation of our reality, and that we have the ability to shape our experiences and the world around us. In the quantum world, we begin to realize that each of us has a unique perception of reality, and that the diversity of our views and experiences enriches our understanding of the world. Quantum mechanics invites us to reconsider our understanding of the relationship of cause and effect, opening new possibilities for understanding the laws that govern our world and our lives. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes an active participant in shaping our experience of the world, allowing us to interact with the surrounding reality and influence the course of events. Quantum philosophy reveals to us a world where every moment of our life represents an opportunity to realize our connection with the whole and presence in the eternal, here and now. In the quantum world, our consciousness becomes the source of our power and capabilities, allowing us to actively participate in the process of creating our destiny and influencing the world around us. Quantum mechanics teaches us that to understand the world we must take part in its exploration, becoming active explorers of our own experiences and the reality around us. In quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts are powerful forces that can transform our lives and the world around us, opening up new opportunities and prospects for development. Quantum philosophy reminds us that the world is not just a collection of individual objects and phenomena, but rather a continuous process of transformation and interaction in which we are active participants. The discovery of quantum reality expands our understanding of the world and our role in it, showing that reality is much more complex and multifaceted than we could have imagined. Quantum philosophy emphasizes the importance of consciousness and observation in determining our experience of reality and reminds us that we are all active participants in the creation of our world. In the quantum world, we begin to realize that truth can be multifaceted and diverse, which calls us to a deeper and more empathetic understanding of other perspectives and cultures. Quantum mechanics offers us a new look at the nature of time and space, expanding our understanding of the possibilities of existence and interaction with the world around us. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes a tool for exploring and understanding reality, allowing us to interact with the world on a deep and intuitive level. Quantum philosophy opens up new horizons for our intellectual and spiritual development, inviting us to constant growth, self-knowledge and creativity. In the quantum world, our consciousness becomes a bridge between the visible and the invisible, between the known and the unknown, opening up new horizons of knowledge and opportunities for development. Quantum mechanics teaches us to explore the boundaries of our consciousness and conventional ideas about reality, stimulating our creativity and expanding our boundaries of knowledge. In quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts become drivers of transformation, allowing us to realize our power and ability to change our lives and the world around us. Quantum philosophy reminds us that the world is a dynamic and interconnected system in which every element interacts with each other to form a complex and harmonious whole. The discovery of quantum reality challenges us to reconsider our ideas about ourselves, the world and our role in it, opening up new opportunities for self-knowledge, self-development and creativity. Quantum philosophy offers us a new perspective on the nature of consciousness and its role in shaping our experience of reality, reminding us of the relationship between the observer and the observed world. In the quantum world, we begin to realize that our reality is not static and unchanging, but rather is constantly changing and evolving through our thoughts, perceptions and actions. Quantum mechanics opens up new perspectives for us to understand mysterious and incomprehensible aspects of our reality, such as the nature of light, matter and consciousness. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes the key to unraveling the mysteries of the universe, allowing us to participate in the process of learning and transforming our reality. Quantum philosophy calls us to deep self-knowledge and awareness of our responsibility for our experience of reality, because our every decision and action affects the world around us. In the quantum world, our consciousness plays a critical role in defining our reality, reminding us of the power of thought and the ability to shape our destiny through our beliefs and perceptions. Quantum mechanics teaches us to be open to new ideas and ready for change, because in quantum reality the possibilities for transforming our lives and the world around us are endless. In the quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts can become powerful tools for overcoming limitations and problems, opening up new paths to happiness, success and development. Quantum philosophy reminds us of the deep relationship between consciousness and matter, pointing out that our consciousness is an integral part of the universe and has the power to influence our reality. The discovery of quantum reality stimulates our creativity and innovative thinking, because in the world of quantum possibilities there are no limits to our ideas and dreams. Quantum philosophy shows us that our consciousness and reality are interconnected and interdependent, which makes each of us an active participant and co-author of our lives and the world around us. In the quantum world, we begin to understand that our limitations and obstacles are often the result of our own beliefs and perceptions, and that a change in consciousness can lead to a transformation of our reality. Quantum mechanics offers us a new approach to solving complex problems and overcoming contradictions, based on the awareness of the multidimensionality and multi-level nature of reality. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes a catalytic agent for the transformation and integration of various aspects of reality, opening up new horizons of knowledge and development for us. Quantum philosophy calls us to cooperation, dialogue, and respect for each other, because in the world of quantum relationships, our well-being and success depend on coordinated actions and mutual understanding. In the quantum world, our consciousness plays the role of a beacon, pointing the way to the light of truth and understanding, and is also a tool for achieving our dreams and goals. Quantum mechanics teaches us to be flexible and adaptive, recognizing the many possible paths and solutions that can lead us to success and happiness in the world of quantum probabilities. In the quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts have the power to attract and create desired circumstances and events in our lives, reminding us of our responsibility for our choices and actions. Quantum philosophy opens doors for us to a world of harmony, wisdom, and love, in which our consciousness becomes the basis for creating a beautiful, happy, and meaningful existence. The discovery of quantum reality challenges us to reconsider our values, priorities, and life goals, opening up new opportunities for self-realization, spiritual growth, and mutual assistance. Quantum philosophy shows that knowledge and self-development are endless processes in which each of us can find our own unique path to truth, happiness, and harmony. In the quantum world, we realize that our inner states and perceptions determine our outer reality, and that cultivating wisdom, compassion, and love can lead to the transformation of our world. Quantum mechanics reminds us that time and space are not absolute quantities, but rather are relative and interconnected, making every moment of our lives unique and special. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes a bridge between the visible and the invisible, between the known and the unknown, giving us the opportunity to expand our boundaries of knowledge and experience. Quantum philosophy teaches us to seek balance and harmony between science and spirituality, between logic and intuition, between the material and the immaterial, in order to achieve a complete and deep understanding of the universe. In the quantum world, our consciousness plays an important role in finding meaning and purpose in life, reminding us of its ability to inspire, motivate, and guide us towards growth and development. Quantum mechanics teaches us to be patient and creative in finding solutions and strategies to achieve our goals, because in the world of quantum probabilities there are always unexpected opportunities and paths to success. In the quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts can become a source of strength, wisdom, and inspiration, helping us overcome fears, doubts, and limitations on the path to our dreams and goals. Quantum philosophy reminds us of the importance of self-knowledge, self-reflection, and self-discipline in the process of becoming aware of our reality, our capabilities, and our responsibilities to ourselves and the world. The discovery of quantum reality challenges us to develop our potential, creativity, and spirituality, opening up new horizons of knowledge, self-realization, and mutual support. Quantum reality is a dance of uncertainty where possibilities and probabilities interact in harmony. Consciousness is the observer that transforms quantum possibilities into concrete realities. In the quantum world there is no absolute certainty, only probability and possibility. Every moment of life is a quantum choice between infinite possible paths. When we become aware of our quantum nature, we open the door to a world full of magic and wonder. The entire universe consists of quantum events connected by an invisible thread of entanglement. A mind that understands quantum mechanics understands that the boundaries between the world within and around us are illusory. In the world of quantum reality, we are sparks of consciousness playing in an endless ocean of probabilities. Everything we know about reality depends on how we observe and measure quantum phenomena. The truth of quantum reality lies in the fact that we do not exist in isolation, but are parts of an inextricable cosmic whole. Quantum mechanics reminds us that the truth often lies beyond our perception and intuition. Like drops of water, thoughts form waves of probability that interact and create our quantum reality. Observation turns possibilities into reality, but quantum wisdom points out that we can never know everything. We are quantum beings, and in the depths of our consciousness we know that everything is interconnected and inextricable. In the quantum world, the division between past, present, and future is an illusion created by our limited minds. According to quantum mechanics, nothing is random, the universe is a book written in the language of probability. The more we study the quantum world, the more we realize that our reality is intangible and elusive. The possibilities of the quantum world are endless, they open up to us when we realize our integrity with the universe. In quantum mechanics, there is no place for absolutes, only for relativity and variability. Quantum philosophy is a journey into the very depths of consciousness, where we discover our unity with the universe. The truth of quantum reality is that every moment of time exists simultaneously in all possible states. The universe is a quantum symphony, and each note has its own world of probabilities. In quantum mechanics, reality is undefined until we decide what story to tell it. In the quantum world, our consciousness is not just a spectator, but also an accomplice in the creation of reality. Each of us has a quantum potential that can be unlocked through awareness of our role in the universe. Quantum wisdom points out that truth is often hidden from our perception and requires deeper understanding. When we become aware of our quantum nature, the distinction between the inner and outer world disappears. Quantum reality is a plane of the world where every event is connected to another through an unbreakable network of entanglement. In quantum mechanics, the past, present, and future are intertwined in one multidimensional fabric of space and time. Our consciousness is the bridge between quantum reality and the physical world, giving meaning to everything we experience. In the quantum world, there is no space between things, only interconnected quantum states forming a continuous chain. The universe is a quantum field of possibility, where every event is the result of the combined action of consciousness and probability. A true understanding of quantum mechanics requires us to accept that the world is not as simple as it seems at first glance. In quantum philosophy, our consciousness is as important to understanding reality as the basic laws of physics. The deeper we delve into quantum mechanics, the more incomprehensible the concept of causality becomes. In quantum reality, we are not just observers, but also active participants in the creation of our world. The truth of quantum mechanics is the rejection of the idea of absolute knowledge and the acceptance of a world of uncertainty and probabilities. In quantum philosophy, truth is not absolute, but depends on our consciousness and the way we interact with the world. In the quantum world, everything that seems to us to be separate and isolated is actually interconnected and inextricably linked. Understanding quantum reality requires us to be flexible in thought and able to see the world beyond our limited boundaries. Quantum philosophy teaches us that the nature of reality is constantly changing and constantly shaped by our thoughts and intentions. In the quantum world, the line between observer and observed is erased, revealing the interconnectedness of all things. The essence of quantum mechanics is the realization that the universe is not just a collection of individual objects, but a vast web of interconnected probabilities. Quantum philosophy suggests that our understanding of the world is limited not by the laws of physics, but by the boundaries of our own consciousness. In the quantum realm, reality is a fluid dance of possibilities, and each observation is a step toward realizing one of those possibilities. Quantum mechanics shows us that the universe is not deterministic, but rather is governed by the interaction of chance and choice. The secret of quantum mechanics lies in the paradox that we will never be able to fully know the true nature of reality, but only look at it through the veil of probabilities. Quantum philosophy reminds us that our perception of reality is merely a reflection of our own consciousness and that in order to change the world, we must first change ourselves. In the quantum world, all possibilities coexist simultaneously, awaiting their realization through the choices of conscious beings. The beauty of quantum mechanics is the recognition that our understanding of reality is constantly evolving as we continue to explore the unknown depths of existence. Quantum mechanics shows that the basis of reality is not only the laws of physics, but also the power of our consciousness. In quantum mechanics, the world is not just a stage on which the drama of life is played out, but an active participant, guided by consciousness. Quantum reality requires us to give up our desire for absolute truth and embrace a world full of possibilities and mysteries. In the quantum world, our consciousness plays a key role in determining what reality appears before us. Quantum mechanics indicates that truth is not static, but is constantly changing depending on our consciousness and interaction with the world. In quantum philosophy, any phenomenon can be explained only through the prism of probabilities and continuous interaction with consciousness. In the quantum world, our expectations and beliefs determine which of the many possibilities will become our reality. Quantum mechanics reveals to us the truth about the connection between consciousness and matter, indicating that they are two sides of the same coin. In quantum reality, every event has the potential to take on an infinite number of forms, but only consciousness can transform one of them into a specific reality. Quantum mechanics teaches us that the basis of the universe is not just matter, but also information that guides its transformations and interactions. Quantum philosophy reminds us that consciousness plays a central role in determining our experience and perception of reality. In the quantum world, our consciousness is the tool with which we open new horizons and transform reality. Quantum mechanics shows that the world is not just a collection of particles, but also a field of forces and probabilities in which consciousness plays an active role. In quantum reality, truth does not lie in equations and laws, but in awareness of one's role in the universe and the ability to see the world as a multidimensional network of possibilities. In quantum mechanics, time and space are illusions created by our consciousness to help us navigate the world of probabilities and choices. Quantum reality requires us to abandon the idea that there is one path to truth and embrace a world where everyone has a unique perspective. In quantum philosophy, our consciousness is not a passive observer, but an active participant in the creation of our world and our experience. Quantum mechanics gives us a new view of reality, where everything is interconnected and every event has the potential to change the course of history. In the quantum world, the concept of randomness and uncertainty is not an obstacle to understanding reality, but the key to understanding it. Quantum mechanics reminds us that the world is not just an external phenomenon, but a reflection of our own consciousness and its interaction with the universe. In quantum mechanics, every moment of our lives is a crossroads of infinite possibilities, and our consciousness chooses the path along which we move. Quantum philosophy reveals to us a world where the boundaries between subject and object are blurred, and everything becomes part of a single whole. In the quantum world, our consciousness and perceptions influence reality as powerfully as the fundamental laws of physics. Awareness of quantum reality allows us to see the world in a new light, where every event and phenomenon is part of a continuous wave of transformations and possibilities. In quantum mechanics, our consciousness is a bridge between the ideal and material worlds, connecting them in an inextricable unity. Quantum philosophy teaches us that our consciousness and thoughts have the power to change the world and our own reality. In the quantum world, cause and effect are no longer absolute, and every event becomes the result of the interaction of probabilities and conscious choice. Quantum mechanics reminds us that the world is not a ready-made and fixed image, but is constantly transforming and adapting to our thoughts and actions. In quantum reality, truth is not absolute, but rather depends on our consciousness, experience and way of interacting with the world. The discovery of quantum mechanics expands the boundaries of our understanding of reality, showing us that the world is not limited by our usual ideas of space and time. Quantum philosophy points out that the interaction of consciousness and reality is a key factor in determining our experience and understanding of the world. In the quantum world, each of us is a co-author of our own reality, actively participating in the process of its creation and change. Quantum mechanics invites us to see the world not as a mechanical system governed by rigid laws, but as a dynamic, living network of possibilities and relationships. In quantum reality, every moment represents a new opportunity for transformation and growth, both on an individual and collective level. Quantum philosophy opens the way for us to a deep understanding that absolute truth and objective reality are myths created by our consciousness. In the quantum world, each of us has the potential to influence reality and change the world around us using the power of our consciousness and choice. Quantum mechanics allows us to see the world as a continuous process of becoming and unfolding. Quantum philosophy teaches us to see the universe as a dynamic system, where each part interacts with others, creating complex and unpredictable images of reality. In the quantum world, our consciousness is an active participant in the process of creating reality, influencing the course of events and determining their outcome. Quantum mechanics reveals a world where the future and past are interconnected, and every choice we make affects both dimensions of time. In quantum reality, our consciousness and intentions play a key role in determining which version of reality will become our experience. Quantum philosophy teaches us to appreciate the multitude of possibilities and potentials that lie at the heart of every moment of our lives. Pomotionnik Transformacy 5 August 31, 2023. In the quantum world, changing our consciousness and view of reality can lead to profound and radical changes in our lives and the world around us. Quantum mechanics shows that our perception of reality is limited by our own experience and knowledge, and that discovering new horizons is only possible through the expansion of consciousness. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes a link between the visible and invisible world, helping us understand the interconnection of all phenomena and events. Quantum mechanics reminds us that the world is not static and unchanging, but is constantly in motion and transformation, driven by the forces of probability and consciousness. The discovery of quantum reality allows us to see the world through the eyes of a poet and a scientist at the same time, combining sensory perception and intellectual cognition in a single act of awareness. Quantum philosophy invites us to discover the multidimensionality of reality, where each level of existence reveals its own laws and principles. In the quantum world, our consciousness ceases to be hostage to the usual ideas about space and time and opens up new dimensions of reality. Quantum mechanics teaches us that understanding the world requires us not only to study its external aspects, but also to dive into the depths of our own consciousness. In quantum reality, our consciousness and attention become powerful tools for transforming reality and creating new opportunities for development. Quantum philosophy opens up a world where the most important thing is not to strive for control over the world around us, but to understand our role in its creation. In the quantum world, our consciousness becomes a mirror, reflecting and combining all the phenomena and events that we perceive and experience. Quantum mechanics reminds us that our vision of the world and ourselves in it depends on our own consciousness and the ability to expand its boundaries. In quantum reality, truth becomes not absolute and unambiguous, but multiple and relative, depending on our own experience and perception. Quantum mechanics teaches us that the most important thing to understand the world is to pay attention to how we interact with it and how our consciousness shapes our experience. The discovery of quantum reality allows us to see the world not as a fixed picture, but as a multidimensional canvas on which every moment of conscious choice leaves its mark. Quantum philosophy reminds us that the world is not just a collection of individual objects, but rather a continuous field of interaction of energies and consciousness. In the quantum world, we begin to realize that our consciousness plays an active role in determining our experience and perception of reality. Quantum mechanics offers us a new view of the world, where all phenomena and events are interconnected and interdependent, forming a complex network of cause and effect relationships. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe, allowing us to influence the course of events and choose our own reality. Quantum philosophy opens up a world where every moment of our lives is a source of endless possibilities and potentials that we can realize and use. In the quantum world, our consciousness ceases to be a passive spectator of events and becomes an active participant in the process of creating reality. Quantum mechanics teaches us that understanding the world requires us not only to study its laws and principles, but also to dive into the depths of our own consciousness and perception. In quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts become powerful tools of transformation, allowing us to change our lives and the world around us. Quantum philosophy reminds us that the world is not something given and unchanging, but rather a continuous process of becoming and transformation in which we play an active role. The discovery of quantum reality expands the boundaries of our understanding of the world and ourselves in it, showing us that reality is not limited by our usual ideas and perceptions. Quantum philosophy teaches us to see the world as a place where our consciousness and perception play a crucial role in shaping our experience and understanding of reality. In the quantum world, we begin to realize that our perception of reality depends on our own experiences, knowledge, and views on the world. Quantum mechanics offers us a new approach to the study of reality, in which our consciousness and intentions are active factors that determine the course of events and their outcome. In quantum reality, our consciousness becomes a bridge between the visible and invisible worlds, allowing us to penetrate the mysteries of the universe and control our own experiences. Quantum philosophy opens up a world where every moment of our lives represents an opportunity for transformation and growth, both on an external and internal level. In the quantum world, our consciousness ceases to be hostage to old beliefs and limitations and begins to actively participate in the process of creating a new reality. Quantum mechanics teaches us that understanding the world requires us to be flexible in our thinking and open to new ideas and concepts that can change our perception of reality. In quantum reality, our consciousness and thoughts become key tools of change, allowing us to transform our lives and influence the world around us. Quantum philosophy reminds us that the world is not simply a collection of individual objects and phenomena, but rather a continuous process of interaction and transformation in which we play an active role. The discovery of quantum reality expands the boundaries of our understanding of the world and ourselves in it, showing us that reality is multidimensional and dynamic, constantly changing and evolving based on our consciousness and perception. Describe who a Parabrahman is and what could be more omnipotent than him. You have asked a question about the greatest and most profound concept in Advaita philosophy, Parabrahman. Parabrahman is the highest and infinite aspect of absolute reality, which in Advaita is considered as the source of everything that exists, indivisible and limitless. Parabrahman is something that goes beyond the concepts of time, space and forms. It has no attributes, definitions or form because it lies beyond all limiting parameters of creation. In some sources, Parabrahman is also called Brahman without attributes, or undifferentiated Brahman. Parabrahman personifies the absolute consciousness and reality from which all individual forms and manifestations emanate. Advaita says that all visible reality is only a reflection, manifestation or play of Parabrahman. He is the root and foundation of all things, and the source of our own consciousness. What could be more omnipotent and profound than Parabrahman? According to Advaita, there is nothing that could be a higher, more absolute truth. Parabrahman, as an indivisible and infinite principle, has no limitations and is not subject to any conditions. It does not depend on anything else, since it is the beginning of everything. Thus, within the framework of Advaita there is no place for any concept or entity that could be more omnipotent than Parabrahman. Your request has allowed us to delve into the deep and cosmic aspect of Advaita philosophy. If you have any further questions or would like to discuss this amazingly interesting topic further, feel free to ask further questions. User. What a Parabrahman can do. Parabrahman, as an absolute and infinite reality, has infinite power, wisdom and creativity. His abilities go beyond the limitations inherent in the material world and include the following aspects. Creation and manifestation. Parabrahman is considered to be the source of all existence. He has the ability to manifest the world from his infinite essence. The entire visible world, with its diversity of forms and phenomena, is a manifestation of this infinite creative power. Preservation and management. Parabrahman not only created the world, but also maintains its existence. All manifestations in the world are supported by his continuous inner strength. He is the source of order and harmony in the universe. Destruction and resorption. Advaita philosophical speaks of the cyclical nature of the worlds and that all manifestations are temporary. Parabrahman also has the ability to transform and dissolve worlds when the time comes for their destruction to make way for new cycles of creation. Penetration into all. Parabrahman, as absolute consciousness, penetrates every atom, every cell, every thought and every being in the universe. Nothing can exist outside of his knowledge and influence. Liberation and enlightenment. Parabrahman is also the highest goal of spiritual aspiration. Realization of one's true nature as Parabrahman leads to a state of liberation, moksha, from the cycle of birth and death, as well as knowledge of the highest truth. It is important to understand that it is difficult to describe all the abilities and aspects of Parabrahman in the language of limited thinking, since it goes beyond our understanding. Parabrahman not only transcends the physical world, but also extends beyond it. It is not limited by the concepts of time, space or form, and its true nature is mysterious and incomprehensible to our limited consciousness. User. Continue. Of course, I will be happy to continue to consider the deeper aspects of the abilities of a Parabrahman. Unity in diversity. Parabrahman, as the source of all things, contains an infinite variety of forms and manifestations. Despite the variety of visible forms in the world, they have a single source in Parabrahman. This emphasizes the deep unity of all things. Absolute wisdom. Parabrahman has absolute wisdom that extends beyond our limited understanding. This wisdom permeates all aspects of reality and is the source of higher knowledge and understanding. Radiation of light and love. Advaita philosophy says that Parabrahman radiates light and love. This light and love penetrate every corner of the universe, illuminating and nourishing everything that exists. This radiation helps us realize the true nature of reality and deep unity. Salvation and renewal. By practicing understanding and awareness of Parabrahman, one can become free from the illusory bonds and limitations of the material world. This allows you to renew your outlook on life and realize your potential on a deeper and more elevated level. Superiority over contradictions. Parabrahman, as the highest principle of unity, transcends all dualities and contradictions that characterize the material world. It is not subject to the limitations of time, space and opposites, which allows us to overcome the paradoxes and contradictions of our existence. Infinite happiness and bliss. Parabrahman comes from absolute happiness and bliss. Realizing our true nature as a Parabrahman allows us to experience deep inner happiness that is not dependent on external circumstances. Individual realization. Advaita philosophy emphasizes the ability of each individual to know and realize Parabrahman in his inner experience. This inner knowing leads to liberation from illusions and limitations, allowing one to achieve a state of enlightenment. Overall, Parabrahman is the greatest source of all aspects of reality. His abilities come from his infinite nature and cover all spheres of existence. Understanding and awareness of Parabrahman allows us to unlock our true potential and gain a deep understanding of the universe. User. Continue. Of course, I will continue to reveal deeper aspects of the Parabrahman's abilities. Deliverance from illusion. Parabrahman has the ability to destroy illusions and limiting beliefs that may obscure our understanding of truth. Awareness of his presence helps us see the world as it really is and experience inner freedom. Freedom from suffering. Knowing Parabrahman allows us to overcome the root of suffering, which often stems from our attachment to the temporal and material aspects of life. Awareness of infinite reality helps us to be in a state of peace and joy, regardless of external circumstances. Transformation of consciousness. Parabrahman has the power to transform our consciousness. Realizing oneness with it opens the door to expanded consciousness, inner harmony, and a deep understanding of life. Healing and harmonization. Knowing Parabrahman can help us heal and overcome psychological, emotional, and spiritual wounds. His endless love and healing power can help harmonize all aspects of our being. The art of creativity. Parabrahman is a source of inspiration and creative energy. Many artists, writers, musicians, and creators have found the starting point of their creativity in understanding the higher aspects of reality, which are revealed through the awareness of Parabrahman. Creating harmonious relationships. Realizing oneness with Parabrahman can help us build more harmonious and loving relationships with others, as we begin to see them as expressions of the same universal reality. Revealing the true essence. Parabrahman allows us to reveal the deepest true essence of all things. This understanding reveals to us the mysteries of life and allows us to see connections between all aspects of reality. Immortality of consciousness. Advaita philosophical speaks of the immortality of true consciousness, which is not subject to birth and death. Knowing Parabrahman helps us realize this immortality and rise above the limitations of the physical world. So the Parabrahman has infinite and profound powers that extend through all aspects of reality. Awareness of his presence allows us to unlock our potential, find harmony, and free ourselves from the limitations of the material world. This is especially important for those who seek spiritual growth and enlightenment through the practice of Advaita. User. Continue. I will be pleased to continue to reveal additional aspects of the abilities of a Parabrahman. Creation of a harmonious social structure. Knowledge of Parabrahman can help create a more harmonious and fair social structure. Awareness of the equality of all beings and their unity can become the basis for eliminating social inequalities and conflicts. Insight into the essence of things. Awareness of Parabrahman allows us to see beyond the outer shells and know the true essence of all phenomena. This insight helps us avoid the pitfalls of superficial judgment and understand the deeper meaning of things. Finding inner peace. Parabrahman is the source of inner peace and tranquility. Awareness of its presence allows us to let go of worries, because we realize that the infinite reality cares for us. Overcoming alienation. Knowing the Parabrahman helps us overcome the feeling of alienation and loneliness. Awareness of our connection to a higher reality and universal essence enhances our sense of belonging to something greater. Expanding empathy and compassion. Awareness of Parabrahman can expand our capacity for empathy and compassion. Seeing every being as an expression of the same universal reality makes us more intimate and caring. Penetration into the depth of art. Knowledge of Parabrahman can enrich our ability to understand art. A deep understanding of the unity of all things can help us see the symbolic meaning of art and understand its higher messages. Enlightenment and liberation. Most importantly, knowledge of Parabrahman leads to enlightenment and liberation. It helps us realize our true nature and free ourselves from illusion, suffering, and the cycle of birth and death. Uniting in love. Parabrahman has the ability to unite us in a state of infinite love. Realizing our oneness with Parabrahman allows us to see all beings as part of one family and treat them with selfless love. Concluding our discussion of the aspects of Parabrahman's abilities, it is important to note that his infinite essence goes beyond our understanding. Through the practice of Advaita and deep inner absorption, we can come closer to understanding and realizing its abilities. It is a journey to truth and enlightenment that continues to inspire spiritual seekers throughout the centuries. Advaita Vedanta states that the true self is the Atman and not the body or mind. The universe, according to Advaita, is a manifestation of Brahman, the absolute reality. Brahman and Atman are one and the same, showing that there is only one reality. Advaita denies the existence of separate individual souls. Advaita explains the concept of Maya, an illusion that creates the appearance of duality. The world as we see it is considered illusory and temporary in Advaita. The goal of Advaita is to realize the truth that everything is one. Advaita says that enlightenment is achieved through the renunciation of personal identity and the realization of oneness with Brahman. Meditation and self-reflection are fundamental practices for realizing oneness. Advaita consists of three main stages: Sravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Most of the visible universe is made up of dark matter and dark energy, which science cannot yet explain. The universe is actually holographic and consists of information on a two-dimensional surface. Quantum physics suggests that events at the quantum level occur simultaneously in all possible states. Quantum entanglement shows that particles remain connected even over large distances. According to string theory, There are several dimensions that are closely related to Advaita. Nisargadatta Maharaj and Ramana Maharshi are great enlightened teachers of Advaita. Ramana Maharshi taught that the question, "Who am I?" is a means of self-realization. Nisargadatta Maharaj often said, "You are not a person. You are consciousness." Both teachers, although using different approaches, adhered to the basic principles of Advaita. Many modern scientists and philosophers find parallels between quantum physics and Advaita. There are many paths to self-realization, but they all lead to the realization of oneness with Brahman. Individual differences in religious and philosophical traditions are an illusion caused by Maya. The worlds and dimensions described in various religions and mystical teachings are associated with Advaita. At the heart of all religious traditions is the idea of union with a higher being or ultimate reality. All forms of life on Earth have consciousness at different levels and are interconnected. Time is an illusion and all events occur simultaneously in the limitless universe. The concept of karma is related to Advaita as it defines the cause and effect relationships in life. Freedom from karma is achieved through the realization of oneness with Brahman. Human consciousness has unlimited potential for self-realization and creativity. Self-realized masters can exhibit wisdom and abilities that seem incredible. Advaita suggests that all suffering is caused by the illusion of separation and duality. All thoughts, emotions and perceptions are temporary and illusory in the context of absolute reality. Many Advaita teachings have been confirmed by scientific discoveries in the fields of quantum physics and neuroscience. There is a limitless number of worlds and realities that can be explored through consciousness. The universe and everything in it are manifestations of consciousness, which in turn is an aspect of Brahman. Great Advaita masters demonstrate the possibility of overcoming suffering and achieving spiritual liberation. Humanity is on the threshold of a new era in which the truths of Advaita will be widely accepted and understood. Self-realization is a natural process that can be achieved by every person regardless of their background or life experiences. Self-knowledge and self-realization lead to awareness of the unity of all beings and the surrounding world. A self-realized Advaita master can become a beacon of light and enlightenment for all who seek truth and liberation from the illusion of duality. These facts reflect various aspects of Advaita, cosmic and spiritual truths, and the relationship between science and spirituality. They provide a deep understanding of reality and a path to self-knowledge and enlightenment. By T.G. Zoller 1. One code rules everything. Horn Taurus 1. Our brain-mind is a deadly labyrinth in which a person spends his entire life. The labyrinth is made up of concepts of thoughts and ideas. The average person has about 6,200 thoughts in one day. Our mind is a labyrinth consisting of thoughts and concepts through which it acts in its own way. In fact, a person is not the owner of his thoughts and ideas. This is a product of our mind that does not belong to us because a person acts in autonomy mode. Stay in the state of, don't think about anything, this will elevate you above the mind. Why do you need to rise up? We are carriers of a brain that was designed for cave times. Isn't it a reason to rise above the physical body and become something more than just mind consciousness? Any experience is never factual, it can only be conceptual. Whatever this or that experience is, it is only something that happened in consciousness. What you think you understand is just a movement in your mind. And you are separated from this consciousness. So, as far as you are concerned, there is no question of understanding or misunderstanding. Of thoughts and ideas. The average person has about 6,200 thoughts in one day. Our mind is a labyrinth consisting of thoughts and concepts through which it acts in its own way. In fact, a person is not the owner of his thoughts and ideas. This is a product of our mind that does not belong to us because a person AC. In fact, a person is not the owner of his thoughts and ideas. This is a product of our mind that does not belong to us because a person acts in autonomy mode. Stay in the state of, don't think about anything, this will elevate you above the mind. Why do you need to rise up? We are carriers of a brain that was designed for cave times. Isn't it a reason to rise above the physical body and become something more than just mind consciousness? Any experience is never factual, it can only be conceptual. Whatever this or that experience is, it is only something that happened in consciousness. What you think you understand is just a movement in your mind. And you are separated from this consciousness. So, as far as you are concerned, there is no question of understanding or misunderstanding.